Hello and welcome to the BIG Festoon 2026. We are here, YVT on the road at the AO Arena. Can you believe it? Dani had a dream when she started the BIG Festoon, and from a room of 15 people has grown it to an arena. I am so excited because this time we are coming with intention and we have got real stories to find out who these people are, what they do, and they're going to get loud because closed mouths don't get fed. Let's go get loud with YVT on the road. Hello and welcome to YVT on the road here at the BIG Festoon AO Arena 2026. I am so excited to bring you Laura Joy from Laura Joy Limited, who is going to be speaking about the authority drift.
Yep.
When I read this, when you booked it in, I was like, oh my goodness, I get it, but I've never computed it. So tell people what the authority drift is.
So a lot of people talk about the authority gap, which sounds like there's this big chasm and you have to leap across it. I like to think about it as a flexibility. So it drifts, a bit like an iceberg drift. So it drifts closer, it drifts further away. And it's something that I see a lot in businesses. And if I have to describe what it is, it's basically when responsibility outpaces authority. So somebody's doing a lot of the things, but they don't actually have the authority to make the decisions. So they're kind of playing with it, but not given the all-out way to go with it.
So what is it? How do people recognise that's happening to them?
So I work within businesses and I also work specifically with leaders, normally female leaders in corporate, and I see it so much more in females than males. The way that they'll recognise it in a business is that performance will start to feel off. Collaboration isn't working, communication feels really disjointed and really fractious, and in an individual they'll feel like they're giving more. So it's almost like the more I do, the more I need to do, and the more I do, the more is expected from me. And it's a bit like wading through treacle. It's like I just can't keep on top of it, and then they start to question themselves, they start to feel like they're burning out, they normally start to feel really disengaged from their business.
That's really sad as well, like that. It's just a normal thing that happens. So how are we preventing this? What is it that you're bringing in that changes that drift then?
I am super passionate about talking about it and normalising that it isn't normal. Because we talk a lot about being busy and, when I get through this period and when I finish this project and, when I've had a holiday, and I do a lot of work in Burnout, and those were all the bits when I was going, okay, we're talking about burnout, but we're not really talking about the underlying foundation of what sorts it out. And it is this authority drift of companies, people, individuals going, I'm struggling at the moment. I'm really struggling. I'm trying to keep on top of it. And like I said, the gap piece for me was a real definitive line. Whereas the drift bit, it's you can close the drift or you can allow it to drift apart a little bit further. And actually it's quite normal that depending if you own business or if you're working in a business, sometimes it will feel a bit more challenging and a bit harder.
So actually it's actually about recognising that that's a natural thing, those things, but what we've got to recognise is when that drift has happened is actually has to bring it back.
Absolutely.
What are you finding when people aren't bringing it back then? Are they just upping and quitting jobs, giving their business up, or is it more drastic than that, if they can be more drastic than that?
Yeah, if they can't pull the drift back, the first step is always recognising it. And I think we're kind of conditioned at the moment, and especially with social media, and it's very interesting from a generational piece, that if everybody looks like they've got things handled, they don't really want to talk about the fact that they're struggling. So even though we kind of live in this world where it's speak up, say what you feel, particularly when people are working in a corporate environment, it's seen as a massive sign of weakness. And, they'll think I'm not capable and they think I'm not coping. And especially where we're doing, the jobs of two people is being done by one person. The main thing is recognising this is what's happening, and also being able to go, is this a period in my life where I am just genuinely busy, or is this now the expectation? And I kind of look at it from two angles. One is the business angle of going, they normally don't recognise that something isn't working with their team until the performance of the business starts to dip.
Yeah.
And then with the individuals, it's have you noticed anything different with them? Or have you noticed anything different in yourself that you're going, this isn't normal. I need to talk about this. And like I say, that's why authority drift is super important to me, because I think it is normal that we have these periods of like pressure and stress, but it's not normal that it's sustained.
It stays there, yeah. And this persona of acting like everything is okay, is that a pressure that is put on from the outside world, or is that actually a pressure we just keep putting on ourselves? And if we all broke our own pressures, we'd all go, oh, we're all like this. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, my view is that it is a pressure we put on ourselves. Like I say, we have this thing that everybody else's life looks marvellous and it looks great. I see that with myself and I'm like, please, you see the hot mess. Like, I show all the blends of me online. Like, please don't ever think that life is all roses and glitter. The moment we start really taking that kind of radical responsibility, it does sit with us. And I think we've kind of gone through it. I did 20 years as a HR director, and there was a lot of pressure at one point on businesses to go, well, we have to spot when an individual is struggling and we have to offer them support and the employee assistance program. I'm trying to flip that narrative to go, but it actually starts with you as an individual and me as an individual saying, something's not working. Like, we're conditioned to be grateful for what we've got, but if we want more, then it's greedy. And I'm like unapologetic, and the women that I work with particularly, I'm like, I want you to be unapologetic about the fact that you want the title and the status and the money, but you don't want to like sacrifice your sanity or lose your identity or burn it all to the ground to have it.
Isn't it funny that and there's got to be different stages and elements, isn't there? There is a point when you can apply for a job that's paying, a six-figure salary, and would quite happily put yourself forward for that and go, yeah, I'll do that. Like, I'm worth that, and I've got the skill set. But to grow that in my own business, I feel guilty to pay myself that six-figure salary. Why? I go and apply for the job, so why can't I why can't I create the role within my own job? Is that part of the drift, or is that's something different?
That challenge of moving within the drift comes out in all different angles. So for some people it will be, I want to earn that money, but if I earn that money it will make me a bad person, or I'll have to become something that I'm not, or who am I to earn that money?
Yeah.
Specifically with business owners, and absolutely with female business owners, I think it's a nice problem to have. Like, I probably sit in a different place to a lot of coaches, is that we feel we should invest more back into the business, because let's be honest, there's shiny object syndrome, and there's a photo shoot, and there's a new website, and there's new branding, and there's events, and there's spending all of the money. But fundamentally, it's like, when I see that in the women I work with who are female founders, I'm like, why did you start this business? The number one answer is always freedom. I'm like, okay, have you got freedom?
No.
And then the normal answer is, no, I don't. I'm like, okay, well, are you earning the money that you want to? 50-50. Well, sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's like, are you paying yourself that money? Like, I don't take as much out of my business every month as I did when I was earning sort of the multi-six figures and so on. But I absolutely make sure that I take out, even if it's £1,000, because I'm like, oh, that was me. I did this. Like, I did it for a purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the program overview with you? Is it a set program? Is it bespoke to whoever's signing up?
So if I think my two lanes of clients is probably the easiest way to explain it. So when I'm working with businesses, I do a business health check where I'll go in and I'll diagnose what is going on in the business, which is quite unusual for a consultant, because normally most consultants will go in and they'll say, right, tell me what's wrong with your business, and they'll create a solution for it. The businesses I've worked with over the last 6 years, the majority of them, the thing they think is the issue is never actually the issue. So I go in with this hopefully refreshing attitude and say, you think it's this, why don't we do like a full deep dive? So we do a business health check, we'll look at what the actual issue is, and I can then give you a bespoke solution that actually fixes that, rather than we put a plaster on a broken leg.
Yeah.
And then the work that I do with women, the senior female leaders, I've kind of gone against the grain. So I've been doing this for various forms for 8 years. I did a lot of work one-to-one. I then kind of fell into the narrative that works for some people, which is do a group program or do a hybrid mastermind. What I've realised is that doesn't light me up. So who am I to talk about, being yourself and having the responsibility and authority to match if I'm actually making the decisions based on what other people think.
Yeah.
So now I only work one-to-one because I don't want to scale my business. I don't want 20 people in a group program or 10 people in a hybrid mastermind. I want to look that lady in the whites of her eyes and have her cry and get excited and laugh and, you know, unfold everything to me. And that's really difficult when you're working in a group. So I only work one-to-one. It lights me up and my clients get the best out of me.
I love that. So if people are feeling that treacle, sticky situation that they're in and that drift is appearing and they're recognising that, where's the best way for them? Is there like a challenge they need to do? Is there a question? Where's the best place to come?
The best way for them to come and find me is to go onto my website, super quick, because I know that these women are really, really busy, like super busy. There is a quiz on my website called Stop the Spiral.
Great.
They can go onto that, they can fill it in with a glass of champagne or a coffee, put feet up, whatever you want to do, and it will give them instant results on the areas in their business or in their life, because it's life and business together, where they need to stop the spiral, and real actionable tips off the back of it as well.
There we go. We're going to grab that link from you, all the ways to connect with you as well, Laura. If you are finding that you are trudging through mud, you're stuck in the treacle, and you're just drifting apart from business and life, but you've recognised it and you want to take control, Laura Joy is the lady you need in your life. We will go and put all those things in the description, in the show notes. Check it out, take the quiz, go find out. Laura, phenomenal. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks.
The Big Festoon is at the AO Arena.
What an absolute step up. This is incredible.
I'm feeling energised. Ask me that in 2 days' time.
We just had our rehearsals on stage. It was sick.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, Dani?
Tonight is the VIP drinks reception. We're going to be having some great conversations, but honestly, I can't believe we're here. I am so excited for the next 2 days.
We're going to hold your heart. We're going to make hope in your eyes, and you're going to have the most fantastic time.
I can't even put it in words how excited I am.
It's going to be fun, it's going to be high energy, it's going to be really informative, you're going to learn some incredible things.
How far we've come since we were in Bolton Stadium only last year.
Can't even describe being on stage in front of that amount of people.
I am taking so much away from this incredible event.
What's been so amazing so far is the energy of everyone here. They love being here, they want to connect with people, and of course, the amazing Dani, Mother Wallace.
We've just upgraded, haven't we? We've upgraded.
Day 1 is done, but guess what's to come? Bedlam Bingo!
Big Festoon Bingo, how are we doing tonight? It wasn't me, all the 6s, all the 3s, number 33! Dinosaur! Do you know what? I've been Festoon, I can't even question it.
Love you, Rory!
Big Festoon is different to any other event, let alone business event. The heart is people with heart wanting to show up as themselves, wanting each other to show up as themselves, all running businesses, running projects, leading teams, and we want to bring our best selves to that.
Such a lovely feeling to always come back here year after year.
A lot of emotions released.
Lots and lots of love in the room, and I feel really motivated and inspired to just go and share the love even more.
Phase 1. We're coming back in March next year. I will see you then.